lolcats are really interesting for a lot of reasons. I love language, and I love the image that people have of the internet being a place where you go to see cat pictures. And from a bunch of different web communities, such as 4chan and some of the other kind of underground web communities, people were captioning cats with text about what they thought the cats would be saying. And it's kind of a funny little shtick. Like you have a cat, and cats are great fodder for the web because everybody, I have a cat. Like that they're kind of evil on the inside, but they're also kind of hapless. And that combination of like really diabolical but not able to do anything about it is really great fodder. And then all of the captions kind of followed a pattern for how people were doing the grammar or the speech of these presumable cats talking. And so I kind of just made an observation. This is really consistent. This is how language forms. And I'm very fortunate. I have a number of friends that are linguists or that help create dictionaries, and so they know a lot about etymology and how language develops. And I said, is this something like a pidgin language? And they're like, no, this is more of a Creole. And a Creole is what one group of one language uses to kind of adapt their language so another group can understand it. And I said, this is the language that cats are speaking in, hoping that humans will understand them. And so that idea of taking these cat pictures, lolcats, so seriously, I think really tickled a lot of people's fancy. It might be the most popular thing I've ever written. I've been blogging 10 years, and I wrote about lolcats. And I tell you, I can go anywhere in the country, almost anywhere in the world, and if I'm in a group of people that know me professionally, and the first few minutes somebody will bring up lolcats. And if you got to be known for cat pictures on the web, that at least it's the smart take on cat pictures on the web. I love it. I love the web's culture. I love how inventive people are and coming up with new stuff, and they have fun with it and keep remixing it. I hope that never ends. No, so I've had some fun over the years online, usually taking some little obscure element of web culture or geek culture and kind of taking it to the outsiders and having some fun with it. I think I'm not at all embarrassed about it. Like, I like to have fun. I think you have to have a sense of humor. You can't take yourself too seriously. I fear, though, one of the things I did, there's an offensive website on the web called Goatsy that a lot of geeks know. It's a picture you literally don't want to look directly at. But somebody made a non-offensive T-shirt about it. It was just kind of a joke. And one of the classic things you used to do on the web 5 or 10 years ago was you would send somebody a link to this image, and they would click on it before they realized it, and then they would yell at you for doing that to them. It was just kind of a harmless prank. A lot like what Rickrolling became later, although Rick Astley is nowhere near as offensive. And so, I had a shirt that had this logo for it on it, and when the New York Times wanted to do a story about presenting your reputation online, I wore the shirt for their photo of me for the story. And it was one of those things where I knew everybody on the web would get it. I knew the Times probably wouldn't. Maybe these days they would, but back then they didn't. And so it was a lot of fun. What I fear is, people look at Wikipedia and the first couple Google results to decide who you are. And I think, someday, 50 years from now, I'll die. And they'll say, what should we put on this guy's tombstone? It's going to be, well, he wore an offensive T-shirt. He wrote about lolcats. Like, there's no, there were more substantive things I've done in my career, but they tend to get overshadowed by the really fun ones. I think there's worse things to be thought of than somebody that likes a good joke.